Three Sisters it says up there. Not, unfortunately, the well-known racetrack in Lancashire, but a lesser-known pub in Yorkshire. But the word race, why did I mention that? Because we're talking about what is without doubt the ultimate in race bike performance on a production bike. This is it, Yamaha's YZF R1. When they designed the R1, Yamaha had three main objectives. It had to be the most powerful super sports bike. It had to be lighter than all of the competition. And it had to be the most compact in size in its class. So, number one, the most powerful. Yes, it is. Honda's Fireblade will produce 126 brake horsepower. Kawasaki's ZX-9R, about 123 brake horsepower. This R1 can claim, wait for it, 150 brake horsepower. So how on earth does it manage that? Well, this 998cc inline four-cylinder is totally new for the R1, a brand new engine, and it's packed with sophisticated technology. There's a fancy new electroplating system on the bores, new forged pistons, and a super intelligent X-up system, which monitors throttle position. Not only that, but it recognises the speed at which the throttle is opened, and that's connected to a gear position sensor. All sounds very high-tech. The whole system is programmed to give a massive boost to the mid-range torque between 5,000 and about 7,500 revs. It's all very, very clever stuff. It's not until you hit the open road that you start to realise just how clever it is. The motor is gorgeous at any revs, but really comes to life about 7,000. And from then on, it's hold on tight for some eye-popping, arm-wrenching acceleration, which will see you topping 170 miles per hour. So objective number one, the most powerful sports bike, not only achieved, well and truly smashed. On then to objective number two, to make a bike that's lighter than all of the competition. Well, how have they done that? We're back to the engine once again. This four-cylinder is both narrower and shorter than anything else of a similar capacity. In fact, it's 81 millimeters shorter from front to back than a Thunder Race engine. And the cylinders and crankcase, which you can't see because they're behind this gorgeous fairing, are a single one-piece unit. Helps to keep the weight down, also helps to keep things a little bit smaller. The gearbox lives in a different place to where you would normally find it. It's been pushed up and forward and it's behind the cylinders, whereas normally it would live down and behind the crank. Helps again to keep the engine short. The swing arm is actually very long on this. The pivot point is well forward, in fact forward of the seat, right up behind the engine. And what that does is it allows the chain's torque reaction to create a downward force on the back wheel and so supposedly improve traction. Shorter engine means shorter wheelbase. 1395 millimeters is the wheelbase of the R1, as short as anything else in this class, shorter than most. Everything about the bike really is small, very compact. To look at physically, it's only about the size of a 600. And once you climb aboard, it only feels like maybe a 400, with a bomb under the seat. And it explodes into life like nothing you've ever ridden. Its small physical size and lightweight help to make the R1 feel really manageable, and almost encourages you to push things perhaps a little further than you would normally. It's great fun trying to keep the front wheel in contact with the tarmac. The riding position has you stretched over the tank, reaching to the low bars in real racetrack style. The handling is faultless, sharp, precise, yet predictable, with no nasty twitches or surprises, no matter how you ride it. Front and rear suspension is fully adjustable, although the factory settings are so good that there's absolutely no need for any fiddling in this department. Leave well alone and just enjoy the ride. The 6-speed gearbox is smooth and very positive, and working the motor hard as you flick through it will see you attaining ridiculous speeds before you can say fixed penalty. Fortunately, everything comes to a rapid halt thanks to the excellent one-piece calipers up front, gripping a pair of 298mm discs. An R1 may not be for everyone, but in a list of biking things to do, a blast on one of these should definitely be in your top 10. You've no doubt noticed that I haven't said a single negative thing about this bike yet, but of course nothing's perfect. One very important thing when you go to choose your new dream machine is to make sure that it actually fits you. This is a very, very high performance machine, capable of things far beyond the reach of 99% of the people who will ever ride it. It could even become a status symbol. I've got an R1. Sounds very good, doesn't it? But there's absolutely no point in you spending £9,400 on all of this, if after every ride you get off it looking like some deformed wreck, aching from head to toe. It certainly is not the most comfortable of bikes. In fact, the riding position could really be described as a little cramped. Another very negative point is this pillion pad here. What is the point? So you don't even think about taking anyone on the back of an R1 unless your pillion rider is a 3-foot midget who's double jointed at the knees, any more than a few hundred yards and it becomes an absolute nightmare. Why? Because the pad, well, it's too hard for a start, not comfortable, it's too small, the foot pegs are too high, and it's too high up in relation to the riding position. Pillion head about there, rider's head about there, big wind blast in the face, lots of weight up in the air, no good, forget it. As for the other negative points, well, the good news is there aren't any. It's absolutely incredibly fast, performs like nothing else you've ever ridden, handles superbly well, and really does look the business. And those men from Yamaha say there's more where this came from. So then, when is it we're getting this new R6 then? Eh?